Welcome to True Crime Case Files, where we explore the most shocking and gripping true crime stories. Today, we will learn about the tragic story of Claire Herskowitz, a loving wife who discovered her husband's dark secrets, leading to her untimely death. Claire Herskowitz is a 40-year-old woman living in Boca Raton, Florida. She is a housewife and does internet marketing part-time. With a vibrant and strong personality, Claire is very attached to her family and has a husband named David, 45 years old, and two children, Greet and Block Herskowitz. She regularly participates in community activities and actively works with her children's school. Claire's husband, David, owns a fishing tour company and appears to be a devoted husband and father. However, everything changed in March 2016 when Claire discovered a dark secret about David's life, which led to her tragic death on the morning of March 18, 2016. At around 8 a.m., a neighbor named Mark Stevens, while taking a morning walk, noticed something unusual about Claire's house. The garage door was partially open, which made him feel nervous. When he approached the garage, he discovered a pool of blood on the floor, and inside was Claire's body, brutally attacked. Mark quickly called 911 and waited for the authorities to arrive. When the police department arrived at the scene, they found a gruesome scene, blood everywhere, and signs of a violent struggle. Claire was brutally attacked, showing that she fought fiercely against her attacker. Detectives began investigating, interviewing witnesses, and gathering evidence. Meanwhile, Claire's children are still sleeping in the house, unaware of the tragedy taking place outside. The investigation team, led by detectives Sarah Paulette and Yandy Ruiz, quickly worked to uncover the truth behind Claire's tragic death. The garage where Claire's body was found was a gruesome scene, with blood stains and signs of a violent struggle. Detective Sarah Paulette, known for her attention to detail, was determined to solve this case as quickly as possible. What happens next will reveal the terrifying truth about David's secret and what really happened in their house. After discovering Claire Herskowitz's body, detectives noticed a bloody tire lying nearby, suggesting a sudden and brutal attack. There were no signs of forced entry, which led them to the conclusion that the attacker was most likely someone Claire knew. To protect the scene, detectives recorded everything with photos and detailed notes. Forensic experts rushed to the scene to collect evidence, including fingerprints and DNA samples. They also took samples from various surfaces to look for any traces of the attacker. Detective Sarah Paulette noted chaos in the garage, with a toppled toolbox, scattered papers, and a shattered family photo. These details are crucial to building a picture of the struggle Claire endured. During the investigation, detectives found Claire's cell phone, hoping that it would provide further clues about her last moments. They also checked the house for further evidence or signs of forced entry, but found nothing. This strengthens their belief that Claire knew the attacker. Detectives interviewed neighbors, including Mark Stevens, who discovered the body. Mark described his morning routine and how he stumbled upon the horrifying scene. His calm demeanor and ability to observe provided valuable information to the investigation. Meanwhile, Claire's children are taken to relatives' homes to stay away from the traumatic environment. Detective Sarah Paulette and her team contacted Claire's husband, David, who was at his office. David's reaction was calm, which initially raised suspicions among the detectives. Detective Sarah Palette decided to review security footage from neighboring homes to look for any suspicious activity that occurred around the time of the murder. They also planned to analyze Claire's phone and social media records to look for any unusual interactions or threats. During the investigation, the first suspect appeared David Herskowitz. At age 45, David appears to be a devoted husband and father. But as detectives begin to investigate further, they discover many secrets that David has been hiding. He had an affair and was in big financial trouble. His fishing tour company, although seemingly successful on the surface, was actually in financial trouble with many debts. Detectives interviewed David on the afternoon of March 18, 2016. David claimed that he was at the office during the murder, but his composure seemed suspicious considering his character, the brutality of the crime. David was unable to provide positive evidence for his alibi, and when detectives asked about his affair and financial problems, David admitted it but insisted that it had nothing to do with Claire's death. David's phone and email records showed numerous calls and texts between him and his lover, Jennifer Green, who was Claire's close friend. This relationship added a layer of suspicion to the investigation, leaving detectives with many questions about David's possible motives. Friends and neighbors were also interviewed, and many were shocked to learn about David's double life, describing him as quiet and the complete opposite of Claire's extroverted personality. As the investigation continued, neighbors reported seeing David acting nervous in recent weeks, which raised alarms. Detectives knew they needed more evidence to prove or clarify David's involvement. They continued to analyze his financial records, hoping to find connections to the crime, and had planned to interview Jennifer Green, Claire's close friend, to see if she knew anything more about the possibility is David involved in the murder or not. David Herskowitz remains the prime suspect in the investigation. His secrets and strange behavior keep the detectives on high alert, who know that unraveling David's story is vital to solving the case. The second suspect in the investigation is Jennifer Green, Claire's close friend and co-worker. At 45 years old, Jennifer is known for her competitive nature and has worked with Claire on many internet marketing projects. Jennifer shared many personal details about her life with Claire, including marital difficulties. This creates a strong bond between them. However, the fact that Jennifer is also in a relationship with David creates a complicated relationship, potentially fraught with jealousy and rivalry. On March 19, 2016, Detectives Sarah Palette and Yandy Ruiz brought Jennifer in for questioning. She appeared cooperative, but was clearly shaken. Jennifer admitted to having an affair with David but insisted that she had nothing to do with the murder. She describes her relationship with Claire as mostly supportive, but admits there are tense moments, particularly when discussing their relationship. During interrogation, Jennifer's motive may have stemmed from the fact that her affair with David was a major betrayal of Claire's trust. If Claire finds out, it could lead to conflict. Additionally, Jennifer's ambitious nature can lead to jealousy and resentment. Throughout the interrogation, Jennifer was defensive but not overly aggressive. She announced that David intended to leave Claire and that their relationship would become official, which further raised suspicions about Jennifer's motives. Detectives also examined Jennifer's phone and email records and discovered multiple text messages between her and David discussing personal and professional matters. Some of the messages hinted at their future plans, further complicating the case. Jennifer's colleagues were also interviewed, many of whom were shocked to learn about this relationship. They described Jennifer as driven and focused on her career, but seems more stressed and secretive lately. Although Jennifer's affair with David is important, it isn't thought directly link her to Claire's murder. However, Jennifer's actions and motives remain an important piece of the puzzle in the investigation. On March 21, 2016, at approximately 3 p.m., the Boca Raton Police Department received a breakthrough in the case. Detective Sarah Palette was at the station when a forensic analyst named Lisa Kiang called to say they had found new evidence that could have a significant impact on the investigation. Evidence was discovered during analysis of Claire's cell phone. Forensic experts recovered deleted text messages between Claire and an unknown number. These messages reveal that Claire has discovered a shocking secret: her husband, David, is running a secret gambling and sex trafficking operation. Claire planned to go to the police to report these activities. This opened up a new direction in the investigation, causing detectives to realize that Claire may have been threatened because of her findings. New information received by detectives established a clear motive for the murder. David's fishing tour company is actually a cover for a clandestine gambling and sex trafficking operation, described as a kind of brothel casino. Here, David entertained wealthy male customers with slot machines, and young people, including women from Eastern Europe, were lured to America with the promise of working as fashion models. Detectives immediately realized the importance of this information. They convened a group meeting to discuss the findings, with text messages outlining Claire's shock and determination to expose David's illegal activities. These messages show that Claire discovered David's activities just days before her murder, and the urgency in her messages suggests fear and a sense of the need to act quickly. Additionally, detectives also noted several text messages mentioning a woman named Olga Verasova. Claire contacted Olga, who had traveled from Chelyabinsk, Russia, to confront David about the disappearance of her daughter, Anastasia. Anastasia, just 18 years old, was lured to America with the promise of a modeling career, but ended up trapped in David's trade. Aware of this complex situation, police increased their efforts to trace David's financial records and communications, hoping to uncover further evidence that could link him to both human trafficking and Claire's murder. Detectives have reached out to federal agencies for assistance, as the case has now expanded beyond a simple domestic incident. On March 22, 2016, detectives Sarah Palette and Yandy Ruiz brought Olga in for questioning. Olga, 61 years old, was very sad and determined to find justice for her daughter. She explained through an interpreter how Anastasia disappeared shortly after arriving in America. Olga tried everything to find her daughter, even hiring a private detective, but all leads pointed to David Herskowitz. Olga describes her daughter as an ambitious person with big dreams. Anastasia is excited about her modeling career and looking forward to her new life in America. When Anastasia stops communicating, Olga knows something is very wrong and is determined to find out the truth. To do that, she sold everything to fly to Florida and confront David directly. During the interrogation, Olga was emotional but maintained her composure. She recounted meeting Claire Herskowitz in the days leading up to the murder. Claire sympathized and promised to help Olga expose David's activities. This meeting took place just 2 days before Claire's death, making Olga a key witness in the investigation. Olga Verasova's appearance in the case not only unravels more secrets related to David's illegal activities, but also opens a new direction of investigation, promising to bring justice to both Claire and Anastasia. Olga Verasova's motives in confronting David Herskowitz are clear. She wants answers about her daughter's disappearance and is willing to do anything to find out the truth. Although detectives found no evidence that Olga was involved in the murder, they identified her as a grieving mother determined to seek justice for her daughter. Detectives continued to explore David's illegal activities and found that Olga had collected documents and records of his illegal actions, hoping to use them to pressure the police. David must reveal Anastasia's whereabouts. Olga handed these documents over to detectives, providing important additional evidence for the investigation. Olga's friends and acquaintances in Russia have described her as a determined mother who was determined to find her daughter and had exhausted all resources to do so. The journey to America is her last hope to discover the truth about her daughter. With all the testimony and documents Olga provided, detectives had more evidence to connect David to both the human trafficking operation and Claire's murder. These findings highlight the international nature of David's crimes and the profound impact his actions had. On March 24, 2016, after gathering enough evidence, the Boca Raton Police Department identified David Herskowitz as Claire's killer. Although David seems perfect on the outside with his fishing tour company, he is actually hiding a dark secret. His activities are a cover for illegal gambling and sex trafficking. David's motive in killing Claire is clear. Claire discovered his secret life and planned to expose David's behavior to the Bay authorities, which made David fear that his personal and professional life would collapse, so he decided to silence her forever. Police collected enough evidence, including financial records, phone and document records, and deleted messages between him and Claire to arrest David. At 10 a.m., detectives Sarah Paulette and Yandy Ruiz arrived at David's office, the atmosphere tense as they approached. David is in a meeting about his business plan when the detective walks in and informs him of his arrest. David's reaction was a mixture of shock and resignation. He did not resist but still maintained his innocence, claiming that he was being set up. Detectives handcuffed David and read him his rights, then escorted him out of the building, where a curious crowd and media had gathered. News of the arrest quickly spread throughout the community, leaving many people unable to believe that David was the killer. Claire's family, although devastated, are also relieved that the police have identified her killer. The Boca Raton community mourned the loss of a beloved mother and friend. Police continue to investigate to ensure they have a solid case against David. They discovered more details about his illegal activities involving gambling and sex trafficking, painting a clear picture of a desperate man defending a tumble life, his own, willing to do whatever it takes to hide his secret. This step forward not only towards justice for Claire, but also gives hope to Olga Varasova, who is still searching for answers about her daughter, Anastasia. Police have reassured Olga that they will continue to investigate David's criminal network in the hope of uncovering the truth. After David Herskowitz was led away in a police car, Boca Raton residents hoped for a speedy and fair trial. Claire's murder shook the community, but her courage in exposing David's crimes inspired many. Detectives remain committed to following the case, determined to honor Claire's memory by ensuring that her killer faces the full force of the law. David Herskowitz's trial began on August 1, 2017 in Boca Raton, with the prosecution led by Assistant District Attorney Karen Whitfield. 38-year-old Karen, known for her perseverance and strong sense of justice, prepared a strong argument to hold David responsible for Claire's murder and his other illegal activities. The prosecution's argument focused on the evidence against David, including deleted text messages between Claire and David, financial records showing his debts, along with testimony from multiple various witnesses, including Claire's family and friends. The jury listens attentively as Karen details David's secret life, suggesting that he killed his wife to prevent her from exposing illegal activities. Facing the prosecution is lawyer Richard Palmer, a 45-year-old man known for his sharp legal thinking. Richard argued that David was being framed, claiming that the evidence was circumstantial and suggesting that other individuals involved in David's illegal activities stood to gain from Claire's death. Claire's family attended the trial with grief and determination, watching every moment in the hope of finding justice. Claire's younger sister, Michelle, frequently wiped away tears as she heard details of her sister's final days and the brutality of the murder. The trial lasted 3 weeks, with both sides presenting convincing arguments, but the prosecution's evidence remained overwhelming. On August 24, 2017, the jury returned a unanimous verdict, finding David Herskowitz guilty of first-degree murder, illegal gambling, and sex trafficking. During the sentencing hearing, the judge sentenced David to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The courtroom was filled with emotion with Claire's family feeling a sense of closure knowing that David would spend the rest of his life behind bars. Although they felt relieved when the killer was convicted, the pain of losing Claire still lingers in their hearts and in the Boca Raton community. Many felt that justice had been served, but the case also shed light on the dark side of illegal activities that can exist even in seemingly quiet neighborhoods. The verdict marks the end of a painful chapter in Claire's family's life, and they find solace in the fact that Claire's courage in uncovering the truth was not in vain. The community rallied around them, supporting and remembering Claire as a loving mother, a loyal friend, who stood up for what was right. The trial of David Herskowitz will be remembered as a case that brought the community together and shed light on the hidden dangers in society. Claire's legacy of courage and determination continues to inspire those who knew her, reminding them that in the darkest moments, the light of truth and justice can be found. After David was sentenced to life in prison, the lives of everyone involved in the case moved on, but the trial also left lasting impacts on those affected. Claire's family has received support from local counseling services and community groups to help them cope with the grief. The Boca Raton community, shaken by the case, came together to support the Herskowitz family with fundraisers and memorial events for Claire, demonstrating solidarity and compassion during difficult times. The grief and disruption left by Claire's death were left in the care of her extended family. They continued to take the children to school at the local Cusa Elementary School, where teachers and counselors provided additional support for children struggling with the loss of their mother. Thanks to therapy and help from relatives, the children gradually adapt to their new life. Olga Verasova, who came from Russia to search for her daughter Anastasia, though she has not yet found her, found some closure in her belief in justice for David. She constantly strives to raise awareness about the problem of human trafficking. Through collaborations with organizations such as the Polaris Project and speaking engagements, Olga has exposed the issue of human trafficking and drawn attention to similar cases, supporting other families facing with the same tragedy as me. Jennifer Green, who was a suspect in the case but was later cleared, also faced a challenging road after going public with her affair with David. This relationship seriously affected her personal and professional life. She resigned and left the cloud forest to start a new job, even though colleagues and friends offered her support. However, the incident and its consequences left a lasting mark on her reputation. The trial of David Herskowitz left a profound impact on Boca Raton, highlighting the dangers of potential criminal activities and the importance of community vigilance. Claire's bravery in uncovering David's secret led to his arrest and conviction, but the ripples of the case continue to affect many other lives. As time passed, the community worked to heal and remember Claire for her courage and commitment to justice. Claire's story remains a powerful reminder of the power of the human spirit and the fight against injustice. It is a fight that many continue to fight, not only for themselves but to protect others from similar tragedies. The show will continue to explore more stories of crime and justice in true crime case files. Thank you for listening and joining us on this journey.